Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hope Soaps. I'm Angel, your goat soaper, and today we are making a lavender and cedarwood scented In The Pot Swirl soap. Yes, that is me with some frozen goat milk, and I'm stabbing the snot out of it. All right, so to start off, we dove right into this. I measured out the goat milk that I needed, and now using my safety gear, gloves, goggles, etc., I am weighing out my sodium hydroxide, which for anyone who is making soap, make sure that you are wearing proper safety gear. This stuff is caustic and it will burn you if you do not take the proper precautions. So, now that I've got this weighed out, I am going to go ahead and put it into my goat milk slowly and just kind of gently stir it around until it melts. And generally, you don't want little kids or pets around while you're doing all this. So make sure that you send them away when they come to try to talk to you while you're making soap. Of course, you can always just make time to talk with them afterwards because who doesn't like having fun time with their family? All right, guys, so we got it melted down, and now we're just going to check the temperature. So once the lye has melted the milk down, you'll see that the temp that it ended up at was 100.3 Fahrenheit. Not sure what that is in Celsius. Sorry, my European and Canadian friends. So we take that and we set it aside. I actually went and put it in the fridge to cool off while I was getting my hard oils and butters ready here. And so I'm starting off with a healthy dose of coconut oil. And you'll also see off to the side that I have my recipe in my little notebook there. And I'll make reference to that every so often while I'm measuring all this out, just to make sure that I'm getting the right amounts in. So I'm using this fabulous metal, it's an ice cream scooper actually, to break apart the pieces of the cocoa butter because cocoa butter is hard. And so I keep saying this, and I actually did it. I went and I ordered some cocoa butter wafers, which will make the process a lot easier. All right, so now that I've got the cocoa butter in, I'm going to go ahead and jump in with some shea butter. And shea butter, of course, is significantly softer than cocoa butter. So I was able to cut this up with a butter knife. So I went and cut it to pieces and broke it off into smaller pieces. That way it will melt a little more quickly and we can get all of this stirred together once we get all of these into the same little measuring cup. Also, I'm not going to apologize, but I will let you know that in the background of my lovely voice over here, you may hear my toddler foster daughter, and that's okay, because that's what life is like over here. All right, so here we go with the coconut oil. I went ahead and got both of my canisters out because, well, basically this first one was about empty. So scraping all this stuff out, making sure that I get my weights right, referring to my little notebook there, and it wouldn't all fit in the same little measuring cup, so I got a second one out to hold them all in. And then I'll melt everything down and mix them all together once my hard oils have turned into liquid. You'll also notice that the coconut oil is kind of sticky. So, I'm going to use my butter knife to help scrape it off of that ice cream scoop and get it all into my measuring cup. All right, and here we go. Taking these to the microwave and trying to melt them down. The cocoa butter and shea butter mixture there, it's going to take a little bit longer just because, like I said, the cocoa butter is pretty hard. So we'll do it in 30-second blasts, come back, stir it up some more, and do that until the shea butter is melted down and the coconut or the cocoa butter is just going to take a little bit longer. So it'll soften up and I'll stir it around. And then I'll just let it sit there until it all turns nice and golden liquidy. Also, for those of you who don't like using a microwave, that's totally fine. Sometimes I put mine in a double boiler. I'll put it in a glass bowl and let it sit over some boiling water to melt it that way. As you can see out my window there, it's already getting to be evening time, so I was kind of in a hurry to get all this done. So microwave it was to get all this melted. And now that all of it is liquid, I'm going ahead and putting the two together so that way the hard oils can get mixed together, and I put them in the fridge with the lye solution to kind of help speed the cooling process on that too. So here we go now with our liquid oils, and I'll start out with some castor oil. And again, this is the overpriced Walmart castor oil, and I have a shopping cart with some regular, not Walmart castor oil that will be significantly cheaper. And then we'll jump right into the avocado oil. So I'm putting all of them together in the same measuring cup. Okay, I've got my scale there. And so for those of you who do put your liquid oils together all in one, make sure that you're tearing out your scale in between every oil and that you're pouring slowly, because you don't want to overdo it and throw off your whole recipe, which it especially is important once you get into the olive oil. And so now I'm adding in some sweet almond oil, and don't need a whole lot of that, so nice and easy there. And I'm laughing because in the background, my wife and kids are talking about something funny. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just know that it made me laugh a little bit. All right, back to my reference sheet there, and we're adding in the olive oil. Y'all, olive oil has gotten expensive, but buying it in bulk is definitely the way to go. I happened to get this large jug from Walmart, and that works for me. So, again, make sure that you're weighing everything out nice and slowly, and that you're not overshooting your oils. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and combine the liquid oils and the hard oils and butters here in my big mixing bowl here. Like I said, these oils, olive oil is expensive. All oils are starting to go up in price a little bit. I mean, between the olive oil and the cocoa butter, I mean, those two are probably the priciest ones that I have. But see here, I'm just scraping all of this in there. That way we can get every last drop of those liquid gold into that bowl. And now here we are with the hard oils and butters melted down and cooled off in the fridge. So we'll mix those in to the liquids and make sure that they're helping to bring the temperature down a little more. That way they're equal or close to with the temperature of the lye solution. And like I said, just make sure that we're scraping out our cups here and getting every last drop we can get in there. Okay, so we stir that up a little bit to make sure they all blend together well. And now we're getting some light kaolin clay. I like adding the kaolin clay in there just because it's gonna hold my scent um, better. And kaolin clay is actually, nice in soap because it helps to kind of pull out and extract all the gunk out of your skin. Okay, so what I did was I added 1 teaspoon per pound of oil or per pound of soap that I'm making. All right, so now that we got that added in, we're going to go ahead and just blend that in together so that it's all mixing well in the bowl before we add our lye solution. And this way it's just evenly dispersed. Guys, I am clearly concentrating here because I want this to be mixed in very well. And I don't want any of the clay powder sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I grabbed my spatula and just kind of scraped it a little bit into the oils and mixed it around because it is clearly very important to me right now. All right, here's my brambleberry, lavender, and cedar scented oil. Okay, I added that in, and here goes my lye solution. Okay, we're adding that into the oil mixture to start getting this ready to turn into soap. And as you'll notice, and as I am noticing, I am not wearing goggles. And that is not good when you're doing anything with lye, like I said earlier. So here we go. Goggles are back on, and I am prepped and ready to go. All right, so I went ahead and started to mix this with a whisk to start off with, basically because I didn't want it to thicken too quick. Okay, so when we're doing swirls of any sort, really, we don't want our batter to get super thick super quick. So, uh, starting the process of getting it to emulsion with the whisk is a good idea, just so that you can get the oil and the lye mixed together. Okay, now I'm adding in my fragrance oil and getting my whisk out again so that we can get these mixed together really well. All right, now here we go with our stick blender. I'm giving that a good little blend with the stick blender just to make sure that it gets some thickness to it. We want to get it to a good medium light trace. That's what I was aiming for here. So um, next time I'll get a better shot of the actual bowl, but that's about where we are in the mixing process. So here we go. I'm splitting up my batch now into 2 measuring cups, and then I'm saving some in my large mixing bowl because that's what we do with an In The Pot Swirl. And basically, I just kind of eyeballed it so that we could have two uh, two containers outside of the main batch that are about the same amount, right? So I split it into three. The first mica that I added was the heliotrope from Mad Micas, and that's going to be a lovely purple color. The second one that I'm adding to my second container is called Luna, which is a kind of light blue silverish color, and I thought that would be a really great color to add into the soap because I felt like it would go well together in a nice blend with the non-colored soap batter as well. All right, so I'm back at it again with the whisk into my colored batches here. And so you always want to start out with your lightest color first so that you're not getting, the colors mixed and getting a really off color with your swirls. So I'm mixing up the Luna colored batch first and making sure that I get all of the micas dispersed into the soap batter well. And then I'm moving on to the dark purple heliotrope. Now, as you can see there, when I moved it off to the side, it kind of has almost a grayish color with that Luna mica, but it does have kind of a silvery tint to it as well. So it actually looks really nice. The purple was really great. You'll probably get to see it once I actually start pouring, but it turned out to be really, really fantastic. Not too dark, just really nice. And so with an In The Pot Swirl, okay, I've got my base there, which is uncolored, and I'm taking my first color and dropping it onto 4 sides of this. So basically pouring from a little higher than normal and just letting it fall straight into and mixing directly into the actual uncolored batter. And you'll see the color kind of come up through the uncolored batter, and it looks like little blobs of whatever color you just dropped in there. It's really cool looking, and I really apologize for not showing you what inside the bowl looks like because it was actually really cool looking. So I went ahead and I got my whisk out and stirred the Luna colored again, and basically I'm taking this and I'm pouring it actually right over where I just poured the purple heliotrope mica colored soap batter. This way they'll all mix together, and I can't wait for you guys to see what the final product looks like. So I get it in four portions or 4 quadrants of the soap, of the uncolored soap, and then I go straight into the middle. And of course, scrape out whatever batter is still left inside of that measuring cup. All right, so here we go. I've got my mold and I've got my batter, and we're just gonna pour it straight in. Okay, I just went straight for the middle, and then as I'm pouring it in, I'm going back and forth from one side to the other so that the swirl just goes all the way across. And once I've emptied all that in there, of course, take that spatula and scrape away, my friends. And as you can kind of tell here, my soap batter is still pretty thin. So the good thing about that is that it's going to make it so that the swirls in the actual soap itself, once it saponifies, are going to be really thin and wispy. And so I thought that would be a really fun design to go with. And again, you'll see that with the final product. All right, and I'm cleaning off the edges here of my mold that you can't see, and and then we just have to let this sit for a little while so that I can, uh, so they can firm up a little bit and set, so that we can sculpt the tops. All right, so this was about 15 minutes later, and you can see it's still a little thin, but it's firmed up enough that I can start sculpting. So I get my little spoon here and start making my design on top. All right, so I made it to the very end, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do with the center, so I just decided to take the other end of the spoon and do a swirl on top, just kind of swirling it all the way from one end to the other. And it actually turned out pretty nice looking, if I don't say so myself. And then poof, here we are 24 hours later, or maybe a little less than 24 hours. And so now it's firmed up enough that it has been unmolded. So what I did was I popped it overnight, and then I put it in the fridge further in the morning. And as you can see, popping it left a nice crack along the top. So note to self, don't pop your soaps because the sugars from the goat milk cause it to overheat and make that lovely crack along the top. So here we go with our first cut, and I can't wait to get my soap slicer. My wife ordered one for me for my birthday, and I'm so excited, and that's why she's an amazing wife. And so here our first cut is, and you can see what the swirls turned out like, and I think they look awesome. They're not thick, they're not like chunky looking. The way that they turned out actually looks really great. I think that the wispiness of the swirls really goes right with the lavender and cedar scent that is that's mixed in here. So here's another shot of it, and it looks great. I think it does anyway. I hope you guys think it looks great too, and I hope that you guys actually take some time to give that a shot and do yourself a little In The Pot Swirl, and hopefully it turns out well. So I'm going to just go ahead and finish cutting this soap, and I hope that you guys really appreciated this video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and if you did, by all means, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see some more soap making videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.